Hello there. In this video, we will be discussing GoPro's EFE, or External Factor Evaluation. EFE is a strategic management tool often used for assessment of current business conditions. Let's begin. GoPro External Factor Evaluation. Our assumptions are factorability. There are at least some correlations amongst the variables so that coherent factors can be identified. Strategy focus, or rating, is an assignment of how closely we need to monitor these opportunities or threats in the environment. Weighted averages let us assign values to see what we need to address first. This often aligns with the strategy focus rating. You can see the values we assign to each category in the chart displayed. First, opportunities. Our first opportunity is a desire for body cameras. GoPro should cash in on brand image as the premier action camera. They could stress their extremely clear images for capturing those critical moments, image stabilization, and the fact that they are a US company. Considering GoPro took heavy losses with their failed drone initiative, going into another sector is dangerous. However, with body cameras becoming a new standard for a variety of tasks, such as police work, we believe that it is worth it. Second, growth of artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence, or AI, market is expected to expand 150% in coming years. Due to this explosive expected growth, GoPro should pay attention to the field because AI might be able to integrate into GoPro's products in the future. This is all speculation, but even if it turns out to be false, it is worth paying attention to the possibility of a new GoPro products. Third, growth of virtual reality content streams. Virtual reality isn't new, but it is about time for a new creative use for it. GoPro could be that innovation that turns the action camera industry into the virtual world and beat out their competitors. 4. Interest in extreme sports. There is a big potential revenue stream in extreme sports. Having the product placement and endorsement by big athletes in front of a live TV audience is also a huge opportunity to further GoPro as the premier action camera on the market. If GoPro can act upon this factor, we believe the company will do very well in the future. 5. Access to user-generated content for marketing. This category verifies GoPro's products through their consumers and shows the many uses for GoPro products from the consumers themselves. Not only does this show that the cameras work, it shows other people having fun with them, which is a powerful incentive for anybody to buy something. 6. Worldwide economic growth. An action camera is a non-essential item, an additive to life, if you will. More money to spend, however, means more action cameras can be sold. Additionally, expansion or growth of GoPro is possible with worldwide economic growth. But again, GoPro should tread lightly, as expansion hasn't been kind to them in the past with their drone initiative. 7. Consumer concern for corporate social responsibility. Corporate social responsibility, or CSR, is defined as a business approach that contributes to sustainable development by delivering economic, social, and environmental benefits for all stakeholders. GoPro needs to keep in mind even though they are saying to go out and be a hero to their consumers. As a company, they need to show their stakeholders that they care about the environment and areas their products capture. Our first threat is social media regulations/restrictions. Global restrictions could severely harm GoPro, so GoPro must keep an eye on regulations, or else it could lose its biggest marketing tool, their consumers. It is hard to predict the scope of these restrictions, since GoPro sells internationally. But whatever happens, GoPro should be aware of it. Second, cheap substitutes. Companies like Sony and Nikon are creating high-quality substitutes, and other companies are joining in as time presses on. GoPro needs to be aware of their competitors' products so they can stay ahead. Suppliers are plentiful, which means a low barrier to entry in terms of cost and research. Brand image is one of the things keeping substitutes at the door, but if GoPro loses that, it could be disastrous. Third, tariffs and slowing economic growth in China. Tariffs should always be a concern of international companies. GoPro recently moved their US-bound camera production out of China and are deciding on where to move it. Being aware of tariffs in areas GoPro sells cameras is important to keep track of. And slowing economic growth, it may mean a decrease in the sale of cameras, something to consider for the Chinese market. Next, expensive research and development. Research and development for GoPro is extremely important to keep them in front of their competitors, or else substitutes would eventually take over. A faster product life cycle is developing, aka 3 years. That is a very short time to have all the research and development done for a product to be useless. Thus, GoPro has to keep on top of their research and development. This is why we have assigned a higher rating for this category. The concern here is that research and development could become stagnant, and GoPro left out in the cold. Lastly, customer concern for recycling of technology and the risk to the environment. There isn't a lot of concern here. There isn't much pressure coming from consumers that could harm the company. But it is something to consider when other more important factors have been dealt with or accomplished.